Welcome to the Salty Platoon. How tough are you?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Salty Platoon podcast. I'm your host, Steelix Wolf. I am again joined by Arrow Bane, the Gottmik Czar, and a new friend, Soviet Cat. Say something.
Oh.
I was kind of hoping you were going to go, ah! But that... No?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Greetings!
Okay.
So we have a lot to unpack today in a short amount of time. The patch is out, and it's a shit show, as in typical Gaijin fashion. So, real quick, we're going to run through some of the new vehicles, specifically in regards to top tier. Might touch naval a little bit later, because I haven't really had any experience with the new battleships. I kind of wish Tempest was here, but he's probably working, so he can't really give us a good explanation of what's going on. So I'm just going to kind of go left to right. Obviously, for tank-wise, I'll do it this way. So America got the M1128 Stryker, which I will go into in a minute, is basically got M900. It's just a 105 glass cannon, currently at battle rating 9.0. It suffers from Hullbreak, but I'll go into that later. The M1A2 actually got a new round, same as the Challenger 2F. They both got, so it's M829, and then I think L27A1 for the Challenger 2, which is that like the Charm round or something?
Yes, that would be the Charm round. Yep.
So, yeah, so Gaijin is actually self-aware in some respect. They weren't just going to go and add the T90A, the Leopard 2A6, and the Leclerc S2, albeit that's not really that much different, without really giving America and Britain something to actually contend with, which was my biggest fear, was that they were going to totally bork top tier, and it was just going to be Germany and Russia duking it out for another, like, couple of months. Because I was like, dude, if they don't give anybody a reason to play America or Britain, it's just going to be Leopards and T90s for fucking weeks. So
yep.
Now it's only like 95% Leopards and T90s.
Yeah. Like, actually, I wonder what the current matchmaker is currently. I'm going to click into it for a second. Don't give me a game. Oh, it's really not that much. It's, like, cooled down. Earlier was prime time, so it's not really that bad now, but yeah. So, Germany got the Leopard 2A6 with DM53, so it's now the highest panoramic game at 652 millimeters of point-blank range, and I also think it's got some of the most decent velocity. It's 1750. I don't think... Will the Russians beat that?
Yes, the Russians still hold the fastest round in the game, but it's also got ship pens. So
yeah, but for their top tier round, 3BM42, it's 3BM42M, which is the new round on the T90, 1700 meters a second, so it's only 50 meters a second faster. Oh no, 3BM22 is 1760, so it's 10 meters a second slower, but it's also the highest penning round, so I'd say that's pretty good. So yeah, Germany gets that. They also got the Leopard A1A, sorry, not A1A1, 1A5, which has thermals. It's basically the C2 Mexus, but without the Mexus upgrade. So DM33 thermal. The Italians also get the Leopard 1A5, and it's the same thing as the German one, except it also receives laser warning. Because I don't know.
Just a cooler version.
Just a slightly cooler version. And it's also, they did a really nice thing to the Leopard 1A5 for Italy, which was, and they've kind of done this with Italy in general, like on their Shermans. They actually give them a proper, like, you can tell the difference, sort of, in terms of their camo difference, but also, like, there's Italian flags on both the front and the back of the 1A5, which in sim at range, you're probably not going to notice that, but it might, for the more close-eyed people, would actually notice that difference. So, yeah, so they finally got an extra Leopard 1 to help kind of ease the grind of rank 6. So if you own the Mexus and the L44, and then you have a 1A5 or A1A1 or both, that's a pretty hefty 9.0 lineup, considering that the L44 is not 9.3.
They have a stupid amount of vehicles in that range now.
Yeah. Russia has the T90As we mentioned. Shtora is, well, cool. It looks cool in a night battle. It's not really that useful at top tier, considering the kind of ATGMs that you're going to be deflecting don't really exist all that often.
Yeah, they're mostly down, what, 9.0?
And they're all getting fired by Russian tanks, so...
Yeah, the ATGMs at 10.7 are just getting fired by the Russians. The T-72 AV Premium, the Syrian one also just recently got changed. And it was kind of what I was saying it was going to be. It's going to be a bit busted because it's just a $50, slightly better... It's a slightly worse T-72B. It's a slightly better T-72A in terms of armor. Because you've got the fire control system of the Arrietty, which allows for Gen 2 gunner thermal. And I assume the Commander got its thermals as well, because it didn't on the dev
Commander
server.
got Gen 2 thermals as well.
Yep.
And they also gave it 3BM42. So they removed 3BM9 and 3BM15, and now it's firing around that the T-72 that Syria had could never fire, apparently. Because what did you say, Soviet? You found out the reason earlier.
The autoloader isn't the same.
I found it, actually. The autoloader isn't big enough to actually fit the round.
No,
I mean,
it
can
isn't.
a T-72A breach even handle that pressure anyway?
Yes.
Yes, the gun can fire it just fine. The autoloader is just not big enough.
It just can't load it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because it's what you said, the Ural.
It's
a Ural autoloader.
Yeah, the one that they have is like something like the Ural or the original A variant. So it's like, it's too small. It won't. Basically, the round will just get caught in the mechanism and just break. So yeah, no, it won't work.
I mean, the T90 is cool, and the T72AV is cool, and it's just basically an extra backup. I know the T72AV would definitely be good because it has thermals. If you don't own like the full rank 7 of Russia, that would probably be pretty good. But like for me, the T90, I prefer the T72B3 because I feel like it has more / better protection, considering the usefulness of Shtora isn't really that good right now.
Yeah, the ERA on the side of the B3 when you get the upgrade is drastically makes it.
The relic actually can save you sometimes.
Good.
I don't know about now with everyone firing the even higher penning rounds, but for anyone who's definitely playing stock, you're pretty golden. Or anyone who just is grinding pretty much naturally.
I think on angle pins it still works pretty well.
Yeah, but like I bet now even with the higher penning rounds, you can just fully overmatch that drive wheel area from like even more far forward. I don't know, but we'll just have to we'll have to test it out ourselves. Moving on to Britain, they got the VFM5, which is just a little 9.0 light tank that fires C-76A1, which is actually the early round on the Stryker. It's some Canadian-made round, or it's made by General Dynamics or something, I think.
I have no idea.
Someone Googled it earlier. It's like made by General Dynamics, but it was given like a Canadian designation, hence why it's C. They use a C, that's like usually Canadian stuff. And, I mean, I haven't actually played it since I don't really have a Britain lineup, and I didn't really want to waste my test drives on a lineup for a single tank, but it's a VFM. I assume it's pretty fast and nimble. It also isn't limited by the 10-second reload of the Stryker. It starts off with 8.7, so since it's a manual loader, I believe, it'll go down. Yep. But it's just another little wheelie boy that kind of breaks up the whole Britain is stuck driving around in slow-ass tanks and getting clapped from the air all the time. Gobnik, I assume you know that all too well.
Yep.
Although it's like kind of...
Eyes in pain.
Britain's rank 5 grind is just kind of shit. Like, because I'm researching that right now. Like, I got to get the Death Star and the Conway now. And I also got to finish the Conqueror. Their rank 5 is like so lacking that you're restricted to like the same vehicle practically. The same vehicle, the same gun. Centurion, the Vickers. Although the 105 is good, but it's too expensive now to play Britain. So I might honestly never really get the chance to properly play Britain, but that's just me.
You don't want to.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not that. I don't.
Dude, but I felt glorious on the dev server.
I don't care that you like the Challenger. Like, no, it's don't touch it. It is not fun. It is pain. Nothing but pain and suffering.
It looks pretty though.
It looks magnificent.
Looks great. You know when else it looks great? When it's burning.
Especially with those new effects, by the way. Damn.
Yeah.
Japan got the Type 74F, which is just another Type 74 with a good round. Nothing to see here. We don't look at Japan, you know. We don't pretend they don't exist.
We're going to add an MBT to Russia that Russia doesn't need, but we're not going to give Japan an MBT that they need.
I mean,
Very epic.
well, duh.
The Type 10 is so, like, not information consistent, so...
They don't have to add the Type 10. There's another, like, Type 90 they could add.
Yeah, I think that would lack a stabilizer, though. So, big rip. Be pretty funny. You ripped like the French. Also, the Chinese got the PTZ-89, which is just an Object 120, basically, at 8.7. With, like, a pretty tanky round, paper thin. They also got the Q5A, which gets a modification called the Q5B, which gives it RWR and flares. So that's pretty epic, but the loadout options are still just piss poor. It carries practically nothing. Doesn't carry any AGMs or anything either, so...
Nope.
And then, as I said, Italy got the 1A5. They also got this little FC-20 BIS thing with a 37 that's good at ground pounding, I've heard. And AP bombs. I have yet to try that. It's been really hard to get games. France got the Leclerc S2. It's just a Leclerc. Literally just another Leclerc, which France devs really needed. So, Gobnik, maybe
that's better than nothing.
Maybe that grind would be worth it right now. Maybe.
But I have to get through the AMX30 B2 and the B2 BRENUS, and then...
BRENUS!
Cool.
BRENUS! Spanish!
Spanish! Oh, man. So, yeah. Also, speaking of which, in France with the BRENUS also has its own IRCM type system that will deflect incoming ETGMs, which is more useful at 8.7 definitely than the
I actually use them at 8.7.
So yeah, I actually want to start like trying to play it now and spade it because I don't have it spaded to see how well it actually works out since ATGMs are a little bit more common.
A lot of people don't know about it, and I see a bunch of these BMPs try shooting ATGMs at it, and they get so confused when their ATGM flies
It literally
off.
tells you on the screen that there's like IRCM blocking, and they're just like, "What?"
I know, and they're like,
What?
"Why did my missile like go somewhere else? I don't understand."
It went to a different postcode.
Went to a different postcode.
And lastly, with Sweden, they got the STRV 122B PLSS, which is fist bumping simulator. Literally, just it has this like special optic on top that you have to use the radar on and off key rather than like another like just it being set to when you deploy binos or nothing. So yeah, and in sim though, it does give you a little bit of a height advantage. Your like commander's view goes up a little higher, which is pretty epic. And otherwise, it's just got the same armor, same gun too. But apparently, it can fire a different kind of round similar to the one in the CV90 120. Apparently, I heard that from a dude that is Swedish, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. Also, Sweden also got the SK-60B, which is just a little trainer jet with some thick missiles on it, which I haven't really gotten much luck lately because the servers are absolute garbage and make these missiles kind of go all over the place. But yeah, that's pretty much it, new vehicles wise. And I'm gonna kind of talk and rant about the Stryker for a minute. I think it's time Hullbreak gets removed from the game. It provides absolutely no benefit to anybody, unless obviously you're the one trying to kill something that receives Hullbreak. But in my experience of playing the Stryker today, it's literally dog shit. Some people have been reporting that they've been getting hull broken by 12.7 machine guns, which I don't think any other wheeled vehicle in the game that gets easily hull broken has that happen, at least not in my experience. But yeah, the whole point of the Stryker being this high survivability vehicle with having the crew not in a manned turret is just pointless when you literally die by a shot that does practically no damage, just hits the breach housing. That's all it does. It just hits the breach and you're dead. 12.7 millimeters of armor.
I think it was on Spookston's video. There was a heat of fast shell that hit the gun shield where the 50 cal sits and caused a Hullbreak. So that was pretty mean.
I mean, it's got all this armor on it, and it's just useless.
It makes it less protected.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, all the BMPs get an upgrade package. Some of their MBTs, like the T-64B and the T-80B, get an upgrade package. The Stryker comes with its slat armor, like urban protection package stock. You cannot research it and apply it. You're forced to have what is probably an extra couple of tons of weight on top of wheeled vehicles already sucking in terms of mobility on anything that isn't a road. Their off-road capability is horrible. On top of that, we also have the terrain resistances that were added, 2 patches ago?
Well, they were changed. They've been in the game for a while, but they were changed.
Yeah, but it was like a mini patch or something. So this thing goes actually nowhere unless you're on a road. Snow and sand, you're like as slow as a mouse. It's garbage. I don't know what else there is to do. Like, either increase the requirement for a Hullbreak with a kinetic round, so dart rounds can't just tap the vehicle.
Well, I mean, to me, I think this solution is incredibly simple, and it's one that people have definitely suggested before, which is that Hullbreak should have, like, its own hit box, right? So you should only be able to Hullbreak someone if you're hitting them, like, through the middle of the hull, right? Because that's the idea, is that it's kind of annoying to have these tanks that you just shoot straight through them, but technically the crew are fine, and it's kind of silly, like, they wouldn't have just ignored that and kept on fighting like nothing happened. So if you shoot through the middle of the crew compartment, yeah, sure, okay, I feel like that should be Hullbreak. But the fact that we have Hullbreak on unmanned turrets is like, what is
I'm
that?
just looking at it. There's a big gap in between. So there's like a firewall right in front of the crew. There's just a huge gap of air that I was actually killed by a Leopard 2A6 earlier. I know that DM53 is actually a big round, but even like Arrow and I tested on the dev server, even normal 105 Sabo from like the 7.7 L7 cannons, like the tanks at 7.7 battle rating that have those, will just sneeze and Hullbreak it. Like the most basic undamaging round will Hullbreak you. There's just entire vacuums. Like, I'm pretty sure in real life there would be some whiplash to the crew. There's no doubt about that. But the shell would just pass through. It wouldn't generate. There's not enough resistance for it to generate a lot of spalling and post-pen damage for it to really do anything. So most of the time it would just sail straight through a lot of vehicles. That's what makes the HSTVL and the CV90 stupid. They can go hull down, but a shell can just skim and literally bounce off the vehicle from the high impact angle, but it'll still kill you if it hits an optic or something. So I think Hullbreak just needs to go away. If they're going to keep adding wheeled vehicles, it needs to just be removed straight up, and people need to start packing chemical rounds.
Well, okay. The problem then is the fact that you can't unload shells and change your shell without firing and giving away your position, right? So that needs to be fixed if they want to do that. I would be fine if they just took, so that every vehicle has a little box inside of it, right, that surrounds the crew and the really important stuff, like maybe crew and the engine and the
stuff
turret
that
drive, like that. And if you pass a powerful enough shell through that, then it Hullbreaks it. But this is only inside the vehicle. So if you clip the corner of the hull with an APFSDS, it doesn't do shit, right? If you don't actually damage the vehicle, it doesn't count.
And I'm gonna add on top of that, it should be stuff that's integral to the structure of the vehicle. It shouldn't like if my wheel gets clipped by an APFSDS round, I shouldn't Hullbreak. Yeah. That's not integral to the structural integrity of the vehicle.
Or if your wheel gets even by heat FS, I mean, that's still easier to repair than other things that you can repair in game.
If the gun shield gets clipped by a heat round, I shouldn't die. That's retarded. The gun shield is not even like part of the structural integrity of the vehicle. It's attached to the 50 cal.
Pretty much.
Like what?
Like, I even was testing it with the RPG round from the BMP-1, just in, like, the protection analysis. Sometimes the slat armor will stop the round, but it will just slightly touch the hull and yellow it just enough to where it would Hullbreak you.
Dead.
It's like, wow, the armor worked, and I died. Like, imagine dying in an Abrams or a Leopard 2A5 when a dart round gets stopped in the turret armor. The crew's just like, I guess we're dead now. Like, you would be crying that the game is fucking broken. But It's just not. I don't know. I think it's stupid.
Hullbreak in its concept is okay.
I think Hullbreak should be removed for kinetic energy rounds. That
for modern wheeled vehicles. We'll leave it at that.
But like you should have to pack a couple of heat rounds. Like, even though I know we can't unload our guns, but you can shoot them enough to where you might be able to breach them and then maybe follow them for like a follow-up shot or something. But you should be forced to carry chemical rounds in a small amount. Like, I always do it anyways in my my Abrams because I have MPAT. For my Russians, I always carry chemical rounds as well. And then the same for Italy. Although, I mean, it's debatable. I kind of, like, use it here and there. For France, I do. I load a couple of heat rounds. Sweden, I don't because they just have high explosive. But
because Hullbreak in its concept is the structural integrity of the vehicle has failed and it's no longer operational. That's the concept of what Hullbreak is. It's past the
point where we need Hullbreak. I understand, like, back when the ZSU-57 was running around and derping M60s and Leopards through the front and not dying. Like, I understand we needed, like, a system like Hullbreak back then, but we just don't need it now. There's no point. It's long overdue for a rework or removal. So
I would still advocate for it to still be in the game because
but reworked.
Maybe for chemical, but I don't think for kinetic. I think it's past the point.
It would have to be a bit of more of an in-depth study of the vehicle's structure for it to be determined whether that should be hull broken by a kinetic round or not.
If you hit something lightly armored with like an M103 slug, you should maybe hull break it. But for top tier darts, it shouldn't be a thing anymore. It's stupid. Literally, like skimming the roof.
Okay, that's not what. Hold on, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that if we're gonna do something like that, there needs to be a bit of a more in-depth study as to the structural integrity of the vehicle when a kinetic round meets the hull. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I would hope they.
It doesn't need to be like, oh well, if it skimmed the vehicle, it should hull break. No.
Like when Timber says it's 1.4 megajoules of force, that's it. It's just a single number dictates whether you die or live.
Also, I mean, when they do that, are they counting the energy in the shell, or are they doing the amount that's actually transferred to the vehicle? Because
I think they're doing it by the shell.
A piece of paper-thin aluminum, you're not importing jack shit to that vehicle. You're not even. You wouldn't even like move. Like.
There's enough resistance in aluminum to like actually do anything.
Yeah. So anyway, a lot of. But at the end of the day, no matter what, short-term solution, Stryker should not have hull break in the fucking turret. That shit is actually stupid.
And that sets the precedence that if we're gonna get more unmanned like turret vehicles.
Cough cough Terminator.
Yeah, think of the Terminator. You're gonna get hull broken when they hit the gun.
Are we gonna have an armada that gets hull broken in the turret?
Yeah, like
the whole point of vehicle outside. Literally, Gobnick, and I think it was you were the one that said this. You said hull break only exists, or something like the Stryker will only die to something that does not exist outside of War Thunder, or something to that avail. Like that was someone said the quote. That basically hull break in its form in War Thunder only exists in War Thunder and nowhere else.
Yeah, I said it in a sort of a meme. Hull break in its current state right now, like it's not realistic and it's not oh my god, my brain. Hull break doesn't typically happen to modern vehicles. Because of the way the structure material, the stuff they're built out of.
They're built out of much stronger materials now.
Yeah, so you wouldn't typically get a hull break like you do in War Thunder.
Yeah, technically, if anything should be getting hull broken, it should be like King Tigers when they get hit by a 122 millimeter shell.
155 millimeter T30. I was around.
Panthers too.
Oh god, no! We're gonna piss off the Germans. No, don't even go there. Don't even go there. They want their Panther and Tiger at fucking 1.0.
I hear them already. They're banging on the door.
You fucking get a king tiger in the hull with the Russian 122, and it just fucking splits the front plate in half.
There's some like really interesting pictures on just Google too that of Panthers getting hit with 152mm shells, and there's just a massive hole as to where the shell hit. It's great. It's fantastic. I love seeing that.
So yeah, that's pretty much us beating Hullbreak with a dead horse now. So like, Spookston made a pretty thorough report on patch day about the Stryker, the gun depression thing as well, having 5 degrees of gun depression on top of Hullbreak. It's just, I said it in its dev blog, and I said it on the dev server. It's going to be dead on arrival, and it pretty much is. I know I've been using it at 10.7 because it has a round fully capable of dealing with 10.7s, but even like at 9.0, it's just dead on arrival. It doesn't matter. If you get shot, you're dead. Which you could say, that's part of the tactic. However, what's the point in having a high survivability vehicle with no crew in a turret when you can't utilize its strengths? Its strengths get you killed, even if you are not seen, or even if you are seen. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so hopefully they address that. I think Hullbreak is going to be like the next 5 Spookston videos are going to be about the Stryker and Hullbreak. He's going to do the same thing with that we did with the HSTVL, which is awesome because it's kind of needed to have a pretty thorough analysis of that. But yeah, that's it for ranting about that. I guess.
Oh, hold on, real quick. I just want to mention that there's also pictures of the Panther's whole armor just shattering to 17-pounder shells, which I thought is pretty neat. So,
it's that crap quality German steel, late war German steel.
Yeah, pretty great.
Anyways, so moving on, we're gonna talk about the next two, the two biggest controversies of this update. So the new engine and like game performance and all this crap. And then the VTOLs, specifically the Harrier GR1, which was already kind of fixed, but
There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly balanced. I don't know what you mean.
DLSS on the dev server gave me probably a 30 to 40 frame rate boost. However, on the live server, it's not doing that at all. And right now it's better to have it off. Also, it causes things moving at high speed to get really blurry, so jets become literally invisible until you're point blank to them. It doesn't render them properly. They become like, if they're against like a cloud or a building, they become invisible, and if they're not, they're just like this phantom moving across the screen. So that's pretty much pointless for anyone with a high-end PC. I know, Arrow, do you have a laptop?
Yeah, I have a laptop.
Just a potato.
And
So-
not running fine.
Did you get a performance boost?
I mean, it seems basically the same.
Basically,
Maybe a little bit. Maybe I think I would say I have a little bit higher FPS on average, but there's more like little stutters
yeah,
every now and then. So it's basically a wash.
yeah.
Looks
So
much better though.
graphically wise, I mean, it's a hit or miss. People with mid-end PCs probably see a decent aid. I think mid-end PCs will probably receive a performance buff, definitely more than the like low ends and the potatoes. So it's just that, but like it's so like unoptimized right now. There's a lot of visual bugs right now that I've noticed that were not present on the dev server. Maybe it was just me not noticing at the time, but again, I never noticed some things.
I haven't noticed that sort of thing actually.
What with DLSS?
No, the visual graphical bugs you were just talking about. I haven't
Yeah,
actually
me
noticed
neither.
that at all.
I have noticed
I
wing
think
wobbling,
which
wasn't
wing wobbly
on
is
the dev server.
What?
I didn't have wing wobble on the dev server. I assumed it was because my graphics, but I have it now. I'm actually in a 288 at the moment, and I'm wobbling away. That's pretty cool.
very epic. I think credit where credit's due. They have done a fantastic job in terms
Yeah,
of
the game looks
graphical-
amazing. Looks amazing.
graphical performance,
I-
and it hasn't even like hit PCs too hard either with the
I mean,
with
there
how great
are
it looks.
There are a lot of games that I cannot play on this computer that do not look remotely as good as this. Not even comparable. So, like, hats off to them. They've done a
Even
really
on
good job
even
with
on
the
potato
engine.
settings.
Yeah.
So I don't know about Soviet. So do you have a high-end-
DCS.
Huh? What?
Do you have a high end PC mid end like
Mid-end.
mid end? Yeah.
1070 Ti. So it works. It's nice. I can have it on high settings and stay above 60, no problem.
Like, I think the overall quality of the textures make it look better just naturally. Like, on explosions, missiles, and stuff. Like, I was playing on that work computer that doesn't even have a GPU in it on potato settings, and, like, even effects look semi-decent. They're still bad because it's low quality, but
Still bad.
much better than the 2013 engine. It was back for the engine was practically 4 years old at this point because it was Dagger 5.0, and then before that was 4.0, which is like old Birds of Steel and stuff. But yeah, performance-wise, they got to work out some kinks from the translation from the dev to the live. But hey, server issues are all over the place. Server issues are all over the place. So I've been trying to get some footage with the SK60 and the 122B PLSS, and for some reason this is happening to me only with Sweden, and it seems like it's happening when another country that I had just played's match ends. It basically hot swaps in the middle of the match my lineup and then tells me that I can't spawn or like I didn't purchase ammunition. So I clicked on my CV90-120 and it like told me that I was selecting my ADATs. It showed the ammo and everything. So that's like a big like client side or like server bug or something that seems to be happening to me with Sweden. No one else has experienced that on the Discord so far that I've been
I
told.
haven't seen that either. It
So-
could be.
Well, I also just haven't played much ground since the update, so.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
Nick 21 lover.
Hey, Josh. This plays amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yesterday, when I tried playing the Germans, at 10.7, I literally shot a T-72B3 through the front in the driver's hatch, and the shell just went in and dissipated. It didn't continue penetrating. It just went in, went, like, through the driver, and then just disappeared. I was like, okay. And then the T-72 killed me, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Like, it's just the hit registration at prime time is cancer. Today, I've had a lot of experience with repairing. Like, I played the Leclerc, I repaired the breach, and then I saw that it was repaired, and I fired, and it broke again. Like, it re-broke itself. And then it fixed itself again. So my shell had ghosted. I had to go through a full reload. Then I actually got my breach knocked out from a tank shooting at me, and I died. So that was cool. I don't know about you guys. Godmik hasn't been playing much ground, so...
You wouldn't be having that problem in the Stryker, though.
Because you would be dead. That's right.
Dead.
Yeah, no, you would just die. So, I mean,
You would just be dead.
Problem.
you either sit there suffering or you die. Like,
Pick your poison.
which is it gonna be?
I think I'm gonna go
Either way,
with
it's
just... I think I'm just gonna go with uninstalling. That's...
You know, that's a good idea, too. I cannot recommend that enough.
Liberty Prime plays War Thunder. Analysis. Communism infested. Uninstall.
I highly recommend Enlisted then, if you want to really take up that space.
Or
Definitely not
Cuisine
shilling.
Royale. That one's a good one, too.
I'm definitely not shilling. No
I'm
shills.
also not shilling. I think that game's kind of good, actually.
I had another thought, but I kind of want to do the VTOLs because we've got about like 10 minutes left before we get to like 45 minutes. So we're gonna do VTOLs, and then we're gonna go back to the other idea if I still remember it. So they added VTOLs for America, Britain, and Russia. Harriers for America and Britain, and Russia gets the Yak-38 and Yak-38M,
Yep,
which are
and they-
pretty potent on ground attack. Although I've been playing them at 10.7 and getting smacked out of the sky, so Because what's the point in playing 9.3 right now? You're just gonna get dragged up to 10.3.
Pretty much.
So there's no point.
Or, you know, your entire team is C-72 terms and they all suck. 'Cause they're all
Or
premium
if you go
noobs.
to Air RB, then you get slapped by everybody, including me. I know I'm an asshole who basically bought what is 9,000 golden eagles, so $50 because you get 10,000 golden eagles. $50 Harrier GR1, which gets 4 SRAMs, which don't suck anymore. They fixed SRAMs a patch ago, I think, or 2 patches ago.
They're very
They
dangerous.
didn't have parameters for thrust reversing. They were basically just behaving like a missile with a really high G tolerance, as if it had fins, but it doesn't have fins. It has thrust, so it just spazzed out. I don't know. But they fixed it now, and now everyone has a Harrier GR1, which, by the way, has the worst engine out of any of the Harriers in game. So it has the worst engine. Then there's the GR3, which I think has better engines. And then the AV8A, which has an upgrade to the AV8, or to the GR3. And then the AV8C, which has an even more potent upgrade to the AV8A, if I'm correct.
The AV8A has the exact engine as the GR3, I believe.
Oh, so it has the exact.
C is an upgrade.
Okay, then the C is the upgrade. Also, it doesn't even matter because on takeoff on runways, the Harriers get like insane acceleration. They will climb with. So the Harrier GR1 with the worst engine performance in game will climb with 20 minutes of fuel, 4 SRAMs, 3 1,000-pound bombs at 40 degrees. 20 minutes of fuel, 40-degree climb, and it will gain speed very, very slowly, but it will basically maintain a certain speed. So their flight performance is broken. The Yak-38s, I don't really know, but they're definitely not as broken as the Harriers.
And the Yak-38 is definitely a little bit more toned down than the Harrier.
Toned down, that's a good way to put it. But yeah, the SRAMs, everyone's just flying around smacking people with SRAMs. However, it was 9.3 as of yesterday, I think, or was it? Did they fix it today?
They fixed it today. Yes.
The Harrier GR1 Premium is now 9.7, which I still don't think is enough. It should probably be 10.0 maybe, but not really. The Hunter F6 should definitely not be 10.0 with SRAMs. I think should probably be 9.7 as well. So maybe 9.7 is okay, but when it was at 9.3, it was just. Then again, it's spam, but pretty much anybody who was in a subsonic jet was screwed. Because of the insane engine performance of the Harriers.
Yeah, it was, they really had no reason to not see that shit coming, like...
Also with premium on...
Hold on, I think it was a genuine mistake on their part, because they had fixed it so quickly. They didn't do the thing where they did it with the wedge, where it was in at 7.3, and then a couple patches later they moved it up to 7.7.
It was at 9.7 on the.
But the AV8A is 9.3 still.
Yeah, but some things don't like easily like they don't translate so well from the dev server to the live server. So I think it was a genuine mistake.
But the AV8A is 9.3 still. They should all probably just be 9.7. I know it lacks flares, but it's basically the same thing as a GR3 without flares. I mean, it's still a Harrier.
No, I think it's fine.
It doesn't have the payload.
It doesn't have the payload, and it doesn't have 4 SRAMs. It has 2 M9Gs, which are.
It's the same as the AV8C. I'd argue it's better, but the C doesn't, or the C. No, the A does have Zunis, so yeah, they're identical in terms of ground ordnance, and they both have AIM-9Gs, which are to me debatable of their effectiveness, but.
Yeah, like I'm okay with that being 9.3. It's the fact that the Harrier. The British one had 4 SRAMs, and that like you couldn't dodge.
True.
GR1 was the problem.
But I think we can all agree here, it's quite literally just a meme aircraft.
It's overpowered as shit, and also with premium, 660% RP and 810 SL boost. Even with just 2 kills, you were making like over 10k if you have premium and you're playing it.
Hold on. I want to bring this up real quick. I didn't know if you guys saw it, but the repair cost for fucking VTOLs, the Yak-38 specifically, was 15k.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, it's 15k. Well, they're premium. They'll make that back. The Yak-38M is 6,000 starting off stock. The Harrier is 12,960. And then the GR3 starts off 6,670, so roughly the same as the Yak.
Speaking of repair costs,
so yeah, the premium ones are all expensive. Actually, the AV8C has 10k spaded because I have that one test drive, so it's spaded. Yeah, I just assumed that they anticipated it, like they kind of knew what was gonna happen, and they let it happen anyways. So the premiums are really
exactly
expensive.
What they were doing. They wanted them at premium sales. Fat
K52. K50 electric boogaloo.
Exactly.
So
like, they decided it is worth it to completely destroy Air RB for a couple days to get, I don't know, however many thousands more dollars that they're going to get from all the people who were like, oh, that looks fun. I'm going to buy that.
Hey,
Again,
I
I don't-
can hover.
I'm not gonna completely like shit on Gaijin for not catching it, because yeah, again, some things don't entirely translate
Bro,
too
the
well.
flight model though is no different.
Okay, the
than
flight
that.
model is ridiculous.
It will outclimb a MiG-21 with if it starts off with a shallow dive. It will outclimb a MiG-21 BIS for a certain period of time.
Wait, the Harriers?
Yes.
What?
My
Yes.
AV-8C was just barely outclimbing his MiG-21 BIS, and I had a slight dive.
That wasn't a solid test. We both didn't start from the same speed, so
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
I had
really
a
gonna
slight
count
bit
them.
of speed on you.
You could probably outclimb the SMT and the MF and the F-13s, but probably
Something that
not
doesn't
the.
really have an afterburner. These things should not have that climb rate. So yeah. All right, we've got 4.5 minutes left. So what else? I was thinking the whole server mumbo jumbo.
I do want to hold on. I do want to quickly mention that the Russian carrier does have CIWS. So
Oh yeah, the Baku works. New carriers
Baku
are
CIWS
amazing.
works.
Still super bugged, but the Baku has CIWS, so that's cool.
Is the
Really now?
Baku in any missions?
yeah, it's on Spain. In fact, the only reason I realized it had CIWS is because I flew within range and it fucking slapped my ass out of the sky.
You don't even
Oh,
have to,
cool.
like,
That
circling
carrier
around.
had CIWS now. That's really neat. Kind of wish it didn't die though. That would have been. That was not preferred.
Totally
Yes, they-
not cash money.
I'm very happy that they do have CIWS, at least the Russian one, anyways. I think the
Forrestal doesn't even work. It's normal guns, and Arc Royal has
Yeah.
nothing.
I don't know if
Forrestal.
anyone else noticed, but like last minute they removed the SAM like sites from the fucking Forrestal.
Oh, it doesn't have Sea Sparrows anymore?
No, they removed them.
Bruh.
Maybe because they're trying to get them to work. Who knows?
Okay, but you should they can leave them on the model. They don't have to take them off the model.
You take them off the model unless it's a new model. that
We
they're
have non-functional AS. Oh wait, there was a bug report about that actually because it had like a kind of impossible combination of weapons.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Maybe it's just a different retrofit now.
Yeah, exactly. I think they had a combination of two different.
The guns and
Fitting.
the Sea Sparrows.
Yeah, I think it had to have either guns or Sea Sparrows, not both.
Press now for anyone who has to land on an Arc Royal because that just doesn't have guns.
If you have thin landing gear and you try landing on one of the carriers and you tip over, it will swallow you. So they still have
Yep.
a clipping problem, but overall,
Also-
it's really awesome.
Also, the ones on Spain, they literally just spin. Like they don't fly, they don't sail straight, which makes it borderline impossible to land on them, especially considering that the carrier moving under you will flip you as you land and then you fall into it. Like, it's a whole mess.
Wait,
Oh,
what do you mean by
another thing with-
spinning? Like, it's just spinning in place?
No, it's just like doing a really tight circle.
Oh.
Like both of them, there was two. I think they were both Forrestalls or Arc Royals or whatever. I was on Spain, and they were both like you could see from the wake. They were both just constantly turning. And then I landed on it, and I just fell right through it and died.
Oh, real quick, last thing I want to mention that's related to Spain. Currently, right now, if you're on the other side of Spain where the Baku is, you can actually spawn your MiG-21 on the carrier fleet, and you get an air spawn, and you can zoom to like 12,000 meters.
Good meme.
So,
That's
so
good.
that was a slight oversight on their part, but very meme. Thank you, Gaijin. Very cool.
So what do you guys think is going to happen, real quick, with top tier after the patch frenzy dies down? Who do you think is going to dominate, or what do you think is going to...
I mean, Germany's gonna keep
Germany.
on.
Germany or Russia.
Or
If
the
I'm being
combination?
If
Or
the
both.
repair costs stay how they are, where the T90 and the 2A6 and somewhat of the Swedish 122 stay with the repair costs that they have, they will be probably the top nation to play.
Well,
Because 3K for a T90 maxed out at like 6, and then for what?
they're
the 2A6
they're definitely
like-
going to change that after like a couple of weeks. I don't think that's going to
No.
remain permanent. Like the original 122 is 17K and a spaded PLSS is like 6. That
Which
just
is pretty
doesn't make any
funny.
sense.
And then America's still going to keep getting stomped into the ground because they don't have another Abrams. Very cool.
Shh, it's okay. Just let him.
Well, at least they got the round. Now they can like kind of compete.
They can pin Contact 5.
Yeah.
I will say
I
that.
don't want
They
Seth.
can pin
Okay,
Contact.
I just wanted a new round, and
I
we
would
got a new round.
I would
so-
prefer if they add Tusk just for shits and gigs on the M1A1.
I mean, it will help with autocannons. I don't know if it will help with
Get some hard kill APS.
AP. I mean, yeah, that'll work.
Isn't Trophy only on the SEP V3 though?
Might be.
I actually
Give
don't
me
know.
some trophy on my Merkava, please.
Yeah, like where's the trophies? Oh, and fix my heat FS shell too, please, because that's just the wrong one.
No, you're too OP. Stop that.
Oh, you mean the MPAT round? That's not MPAT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's not
Remember
bad.
Yeah,
reading
so,
a catalog that
The
specifically
way it was
stated
going,
was
honestly
unpacked.
though, the way it was going, I've been facing Germany a lot with Russia, but I've also been playing with them. It's probably going to be Germany and Russia versus America and Britain again, with Japan sprinkled in on both teams, and Italy and France and Sweden being hardlined with Germany and Russia, as it's always been, and China kind of poking their head in every now and then, because they still don't have a proper 10.7 MBT. That might be next update, but we don't know.
My prediction for the next update. Okay. I predict that
Okay.
we will get Italian helicopters, and we will get spikes.
Oh boy.
However, we will also not get the Dardo.
Can we
again.
please fix the damn servers first?
We do not. We do not. One does not
What is
simply
the
get a
server
Dardo.
you speak of?
Ingwe.
Mom, can we have a Dardo? No, we have a Dardo at home.
So, yeah.
Dardo at home.
But that's pretty much it for the podcast. It's gone on just a few minutes longer. I don't want it to be over an hour. Thank you so much for listening in, guys. I am going to get the custom missions that I've made on War Thunder Live as soon as I can when they fix the CDK, because I have to change some of the victory conditions with the Falklands mission, because it kind of goes on a bit too long. Although I might just make it so that the objectives bleed more tickets. So I just got to edit that mission. We will try to do an event for the people who are on the Discord, which will be the T-72 AV versus Israel. So it's basically going to be anything that Syria would have versus anything that Israel would have on the Tunisia map that I had made, the custom tank one. And then I've got a couple of others that I might look into, and those will be up on War Thunder Live as soon as possible. So hopefully we get to have some memes, because I really don't want to actually try and grind while all the chaos is going on. I just want to play my custom missions and have fun. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the podcast. Again, thanks for listening in. I'm your host, Steele. Say goodbye. This was Arrow, Soviet, and Gobnik. So,
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ka-chow!
Oh my god, dude, the ear rape. Alright, thanks so much. See you guys next time.
So, just
Hi,
for
Harrier.
reference, that wasn't me yelling to do a meme. That was me yelling because an R3 was diving on me.
Oh my god.